bits happens if there is a difference, slight difference in frequency of the two incidenting waves. Suppose two waves are coming from two sources. Those sources are tuning forks. So suppose one tuning fork is producing a sound of frequency N1, another is producing a sound of frequency N2. Now N1 and N2 are close. N1 and N2 are close. Why close? I'll tell you later. That means suppose if this is say 420 hertz, N1, N2 is say 417 hertz. So they are having close values. That is the meaning. Now what happens? Chalo aisa ho gaya. Let us assume that this happens. Then what happens? Then the resultant wave at certain time will sound louder and at certain time will sound softer. So loud and soft, loud and soft, loud and soft. This effect of sound is called beats. So that was also produced during interference, louder and softer. Yes, they were said constructive and destructive interference, but that was a function of distance, position of the observer. But this will be a function of time. Time to time sound will be louder and softer, louder and softer, like this. So the resultant wave may be of high intensity and after some time low intensity. Again after some time high intensity and low intensity. This will go on, but time to time at a certain position, if you hear that. This phenomena is called beats, and N, capital N, very important term, that is nothing but the difference in the two frequencies N1 and N2. N1 and N2 are very close, so the difference in N1 and N2 means if N1 greater than N2, N1 minus N2, or otherwise N2 minus N1. So from the example we have taken, what should be the number of bits per second? How many loud sounds we hear per second is called bits. How many loud sounds can we hear from this example? Louder sounds heard per second is called number of bits. That number of bits here is the difference being 3, so it would be 3 here. It would be 3 here. Now to understand that, this thing that has been discussed now, let me go back to a page. I have done something for you. Let's enjoy this. I have done something for you. This is a 420 hertz frequency. I have written it here. If you hear this, 420 hertz frequency. So this is the frequency. I am stopping this. Okay. Now this is 417 hertz frequency. Listen to this. Frequency slight lower. 417 hertz frequency. This is how much? (417 hertz frequency). Okay, we got that. So when we hear these sounds separately, 420 appears with its own dignity, and 417 appears, is audible to us with its own dignity. What will happen if we play both the sounds together? They will create beats. How many beats per second can you tell me here? How many beats per second? How many louder sounds should they produce? N1 minus N2. N1 is 420 and N2 is 417. So 3 loud sounds should be produced per second. So as time goes by, 3 loud sounds each second. So if you are ready to experience this, let's start. Hear that? Every second 3 loud sounds. But if I stop them, No sound. If I play this separately, 417, if I play that separately, it will play like this. Constant intensity of sound. Constant. Okay. If I play this separately, constant intensity of sound, 420 hertz. Now, if I play both of them together, the intensity of sound will not remain constant. They will go on louder, being louder and softer, louder and softer. So, louder will appear to us to be audible better. So, just try to count number of louder sounds those are being produced. Like this. How was that? Beats in real life. That was drawn here, louder and softer. Again louder, more amplitude and softer, like this. This louder, louder, I have drawn 2 here. So if we take account for 3 seconds, then there will be 3 louder sounds giving this type of waveforms. That is beats. So I hope you understood that. Now let us go to the mathematical part of this. Say this is source 1. Keep in mind that tuning fork, and that is releasing a wave of frequency N1. And this is source 2. This is releasing a sound of frequency N2. Equation of these two sounds we will represent by Y1 and Y2. Now let me tell you one more thing. As we start vibrating the tuning forks together, they are sounded together, so there will be no phase difference between them as far as path traveled is concerned or time lapsed is concerned. Mane, if we write Y1 equals to A, that is amplitude, sine omega t. In place of omega, we can replace it by this, 2 pi n into t. Omega means 2 pi n. So the first one is having a frequency n1. That's why A sine 2 pi n1t. Similarly, Y2 can be given as A sine omega t. So omega is 2 pi n into t, but n for the second sound has been n2. That's why 2 pi n2 t plus phi, no phase difference. Only this much. So these are the two equations of the incident waves on each other, having frequencies n1 and n2. Notice one thing, they have same amplitude. That means what? In case of beats to take place, the amplitude should be same. Amplitude should be same. So what should be different? Frequencies should be different by small amount. Then will take place beats. Okay, these are background ideas. Now let us move forward with this. From principle of superposition, we know y is given by y1 plus y2. Now if we put the values A sine 2 pi n1t for this y1 and A sine 2 pi n2t for this y2. These are okay. Now we can take A common from both of them. Then what we are left with? We are left with a beautiful equation, that is sine C plus sine D. Consider this to be an angle C and consider this to be D. So what is the formula of sine C plus sine D? Sine of C plus D by 2. So this angle plus this angle, that will give you 2 pi t common, n1 plus n2 divided by 2. Sine 2 pi nt, 2 pi t n1 plus n2 by 2, that is sine c plus d into cos c minus d. So into cos, I am writing it below, cos 2 pi t again common, c minus d by 2, that is c is n1, I mean what remains, minus n2 divided by 2. But with this, there would be a 2 factor coming here. So the formula of sin c plus sin d, a has been taken common, 2 sin c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. I have just placed that. So we are okay with this. This equation finally becomes y equals to 2a, okay. And then what? Just keep them like that. Keep them like that. How? Cos, I am writing cos first. Cos 2 pi t n1 minus n2 by 2. And sin 2 pi t n1 plus n2 by 2. But these are the things. Now the amplitude of this equation, let me decrease the volume. नाले बार बार टॉक 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 आवाज आवे. Okay. Now we know amplitude of this is this, and what we saw in the last case, the amplitude of this oscillation was increasing, here it became maximum, and was decreasing, here it became minimum. So as the amplitude went on being maximum and minimum, we heard louder sounds for these maximum amplitudes. So let us derive the condition for which it became maximum. So look at this expression. This thing will become maximum, the resultant amplitude of this equation, or you can say the amplitude of this resultant wave equation. This has maximum amplitude when the variable part, that is this thing, this becomes maximum. Then the whole term becomes maximum. And that gives you the effect of hearing loud sounds. So let us go for this condition. Tell me what came in the last page. Y, let us write AR, that is amplitude of the resultant wave, that was given by, leave 2, leave A, because those are constants. The variable part, AR, that will become maximum if the variable part, that is cos of 2 pi t was taken common, n1 minus n2 by 2 is maximum. And what is the maximum value of cos theta? Here we will consider both plus 1 and minus 1 to be maximum values. If plus 1 and minus 1 both are taken into considerations, then cos theta will give you maximum value when theta is given by, that is this angle 2 pi t n1 minus n2 by 2, this angle is given by n times pi. Why? If n equals to 0, then 0 into pi means 0, so cos of this angle will be 0. This angle only will be 0. So cos 0 degree, this angle will become 0. Cos 0 degree maximum, yes, plus 1. If n is taken 2 or 1, so 1 into pi, that means pi. So put the value of pi here in place of this angle. So cos pi will become minus 1. So I told you plus 1 minus 1 both will be taken as maximum value of cos theta. If you want to know why, because if we draw a graph like this, then we call this to be maximum value. Why? Because this forms an antinode. We will call this value also to be maximum value because this is also antinode. But this value is taken minus a long minus, and this value is taken as plus a. But both these values have magnitude a upper or a niche. That means both at these 2 points here and here, the amplitude has been maximum, maximum. एक ऊपर हुआ, एक नीचे हुआ. That is only the difference. Otherwise, these two values will be maximum. So, we can take plus to be maximum or minus to be maximum as well. That's why we are considering plus 1 of cos theta value to be maximum or minus 1 to be maximum. In both the cases, if we take both of them together, we find that the general solutions for the angle is given by n pi. चलो चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Pi pi cancel. 2 cancel. What we get? We get t equals to n divided by n1 minus n2. That means what? Here n is what? N is 0, 1, 2, 3, as I was telling you. So here, if you, what does it mean 0, 1, 2, 3? First time loud sound, n equals to 1. Second time loud sound, n equals to 2. Third time loud sound, 3, just like that. So n is a positive integer. So let us put n equals to 1 for when we heard the first loud sound. Why loud sound? Because amplitude has been taken maximum, and from that we went to this line. So first loud sound will be heard when T1 will be given by 1 by N1 minus N2. Similarly, second loud sound will be heard, second loud sound, when T has become T2 equals to 2 divided by N1 minus N2. Third will be 3 divided by N1 minus N2. So we can say from here that after each 1 by n1 minus n2 seconds, one loud sound is heard. We may call it louder sound. So after each 1 by n1 minus n2, 2 by n1 minus n2, 3 by n1 minus n2. So after each 1 by n1 minus n2 seconds, one loud sound or louder sound is heard. So in 1 second, how many louder sounds will be heard? 1 divided by, we are doing unitary method, these many times. We got the proof. Therefore, what is the term which says number of louder sounds produced in a second? That term was given by what? Number of beats. And that term was written by capital N. So number of beats per second, capital N, is N1 minus N2. We are considering N1 greater here, so N1 minus N2. If N2 is greater, so N2 minus N1. Both can happen. And that is the source of problem, where as both can happen. Why source of problem? I am showing you. First, this is the theory part covered. Derive an expression for beats, number of beats per second, in terms of the frequencies of two vibrating bodies. This is the derivation. You get 3 marks for this, as far as the derivation is concerned. The only thing may not be, that may create some trouble at the exam hall is this part. Those who have mathematics know this, that it is n pi, because cos theta will be having maximum value for both plus or minus 1. And that will give you a general solution of this. Otherwise, if you don't have maths, you can check the values with putting some values like 0 pi, that is 0. Yes, cos theta is maximum, cos 0 degree. Cos pi, maximum but minus 1. That will also do. वो भी चलेगा. So let us consider all the n pi series. ठीक है, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. What is the problem here? The problem here is this. Suppose you have got a tuning fork and its frequency is 200 hertz. And you got another tuning fork whose frequency is n hertz. Now, if you vibrate them together, you hear 4 bits. You hear 4 bits, it is given. Suppose we are doing an experiment, just like we did, and we got 4 louder sounds every second. So we understand that the difference in frequencies between these two should be 4. Okay, so this unknown frequency, that is n should be how much? Can anyone tell me? বলতে পারবে n কত হবে? একটা ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি 200 হার্টজ আর একটা n হার্টজ, তাহলে এদের মধ্যে 4টে বিটস হচ্ছে পার সেকেন্ডে, তাহলে n এর ভ্যালুটা কত হবে? বুঝতে পারছো?
স্যার 204 হতে পারে, 196 হতে পারে।
That is the problem, and you are right. That is the problem actually. We cannot be sure. So it may be 204 hertz, 4 more than n, I mean 200, sorry, মানে 200 থেকে 4 বেশি, এটা বলতে চাইছি। 200 থেকে 4 বেশি হতে পারে n এর ভ্যালু, কত? 204, or 200 থেকে 4 কমও হতে পারে, কত? 196, তাই না? তাহলে for both the cases, these two are having a frequency difference of 4. এই তো সিম্পল ব্যাপার। তার মানে we cannot reach to a single solution. বুঝতে পারছো প্রবলেমটা? কেউ জয়েন করছিলে কি? জয়েন করা হয়ে গেছে? ঠিক আছে। So the difference being 4, we cannot say whether this is n is 4 more than 200 or 4 less than 200, giving us 2 options. We cannot be sure. So it can be 204 or 196. Both can be possible. Okay, so there is a way. There is a way, a little, I'll not say complicated, but a little different. How? Suppose this tuning fork remains the same, 200 hertz. Now we did what? We did some operation on this unknown frequency n. What operation? ये operation है wax coating की. Suppose this tuning fork is given a wax coating. Wax coating. Now if you give it wax coating, simple करके सोचो. If you give it wax coating, it will become heavy. So wax coating will make the prong of the tuning fork, this arm, heavier, slowing it down when it vibrates. So it will become slow. So it's, if you give wax coating to this fork, its frequency decreases. We can understand this. Frequency decreases. So if its frequency decreases, then it is no longer n. Change होके कुछ तो बन गया है, but it is not n at least. Now they are vibrated again together as we did that experiment. And this time we see that the number of bits has changed. It has become 8 now. So in the second case, the number of bits has changed. Now, from the first experiment, the answer that we will receive या तो 204 नहीं तो 196. That's it. Second experiment only gives us an idea which is correct. This 8 number has nothing to do with the value of the answer. कुछ नहीं है. 8 number हम लोगों को ये बताएगा कि right decision कौन सा है. That's it. तो right decision would be या तो n will be the greater value, that is 204, or n will be the smaller value by 4, that is 196. तो उसको mathematically how you will write in exam hall. Teachers teach you in different ways. वो सब अच्छा लगता है सीखने के लिए. We have to prepare for the exam hall. both competitive and your boards or school. So school में ऐसा लिखेंगे. From the given condition, that is these two tuning forks are producing 4 beats, we can write either 200 minus n equals to 4, equation 1, or we can write the reverse, n minus 200 equals to 4. These are the two equations. If you find n from this equation, n will come 196. If you find n from this equation number 2, n will come out to be 204. Now, second experiment will only help us to take the decision which one is correct. How? Tell me one thing, in which of these two equations, now focus on the equations, nowhere, focus on the equations. In which of these two equations, if this operation result is applied, what result? After this operation, the frequency has decreased. So if we decrease the frequency, so fast answer. So if we decrease the frequency in both the cases, the difference between the two, पहले कितना था? 4. Now it has to be how much? 8. I told you not to look at the number in that way कि 8 ना 10. सिर्फ ये देखो ये increase कर गया कि decrease कर गया. The difference in frequencies which was 4 initially has now become 8. बस इतना देख लो कि अरे बढ़ गया है, बस हम लोगों को इतना लेना है. 8 हुआ ना 9 हुआ, फिलहाल for this sum we need not to take. Increase कर गया. So from which equations out of these two, if we decrease the value of n, the right side increases. The difference, that is beats, should increase as it has taken place in the second case. So this is equation number 1. Correctly said. ठीक बोले एकदम. Equation 1. Because if the number of or value of n is decreased, the difference between 200 and n will further increase. And that has taken place. It has increased the difference. This symbol means difference. Then, after writing this, these two equations, write from the second case, that means after placing wax coating, from the second case, we can say what? Equation 1 is satisfied. From the second case, equation 1 ही लिखना भूल गया था. Equation satisfied. কি জন্য বলো? কি জন্য? দেরিতে জয়েন করেছো বলে?
স্যার দেরিতে জয়েন করে ঢুকেছিলাম, কিছুটা মিস করেছিলাম, একবার স্ক্রিনশট তুলে রেখে।
আচ্ছা যাবো যাচ্ছি, দাঁড়াও আগে এটা হয়ে যাক, আমি যাচ্ছি তারপর. ঠিক আছে যাচ্ছি. তো বলো এইটাতে কারোর ডাউট থাকলে প্লিজ জিজ্ঞেস করো. আস্ক মি ইফ ইউ হ্যাভ এনি ডাউট कि हाउ ये हो गया समझ में नहीं आ रहा, देन आई विल एक्सप्लेन अगेन. আবার বলছি শোনো. Two tuning forks sounded together produces 4 beats. Two tuning forks sounded together, but after giving wax coating to the unknown fork, then number of beats increases. After seeing this, we'll go to writing new equations. Two equations, कोई एक तो correct होना ही होना है. Now from second case, we see the difference increases. अब go back to the equations. In which of these two equations, if we decrease the value of n, the difference increases. So we understand clearly if we decrease the value of n in first equation, then the difference increases. So this is satisfied. I have just written that. Equation 1 is satisfied. That is the answer. So now once equation 1 is satisfied, after this you may write the answer कि therefore equation 1 से कितना आ रहा देखो. We can now answer कि therefore n equals to 196. 196. Okay. So that was it. এবার দেখো আমরা কি কি করলাম. এটা একটা এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করেছিলাম. এই সময় জয়েন করেছিলে সপ্তর্ষ এখানে এই সময়টা?
হ্যাঁ এটা শুনছি।
ও শুনছিলে, ঠিক আছে. এইটা করেছি ডেরিভেশন ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল পার্টটা।
এর আগের টেস্টে
এর আগের পেজটা এইটা ছিল, বুঝলে?
এই দুটোই মানে লেখানো হয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, লেখানো এই দুটো হয়েছে, হয়েছে। আর তারপরে আমরা এই পেজটাতে এলাম, এটা ছিল লাস্ট পার্ট অফ দ্য ডেরিভেশন, বুঝেছো? এটা লাস্ট পার্ট ডেরিভেশন।
তুলে নিয়েছি।
ওকে, ঠিক আছে। আর এইটা তো এখনই করছিল, বাট টু ডু নিউম্যারিক্যালস লাইক দিস উইল বি আ লিটল, maybe a little tough for you because there are so many numericals based on this. तो I'll give you a shortcut. उससे पहले ना इसको लिख के रखो, क्या ये शॉर्टकट आइडिया है. If you see you are doing some MCQ, you can apply this idea. और जो भी आंसर आया तुम विथ आइडिया तुम जो पुट करके जो आंसर मिलेगा, you check your answer with this shortcut. क्या? If unknown fork is given wax coating, unknown fork is given wax coating. तो wax coating किसको देंगे? unknown fork को देंगे. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो क्या होगा? 3 आइडिया बता दे रहा हूं, और जो भी केसेस इसके आगे होगा, जो भी केसेस, इस आइडिया को उल्टा करते जाना. एक को याद रखो, जस्ट रिमेंबर वन आइडिया ओनली, वन आइडिया. एंड व्हाट इज दैट? That is, if the unknown fork is given wax coating, देखो, we saw from the last sum, या तो it would be 4 more than 200, that is 204, greater value, या तो 4 less than 200, that is 196, that is less value. दोनों में से एक आंसर होना ही होना है. That simple it is. तो which one will be the answer? Greater one or less one? मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ पूरा सम को ना देख के डायरेक्ट ही कर सकते हो. कैसे? ऐसे. If unknown fork is given wax coating, then if n increases, कब? In the second case. In the second case, if n increases, that is number of bits increases, answer क्या होगा? So the unknown उल्टा होगा माने just the reverse answer. Like if n increases तो, so the unknown will be of less value. It has to be any one of the two answers, 4 more या तो 4 less. It has to be the less value. If you can understand the meaning of this, it is very easy, and you can check this also. Number 2, if number of bits decreases in the second case, if it decreases in the second case, then the unknown should be of more value. That is the technique. That is the technique. Shortcut का बात कर रहा हूं. If unknown is not known, unknown तो not known ही होता है ऐसे निकल गया. If you see that the beats per second in the second case increases, unknown will be less. Beats per second in the second case decreases, beats will be more. I mean the unknown frequency will be more. And number 3, I am not writing this, I am just giving dot because you should not consider this to be a rule sort of thing. Then maybe a tukka sort of thing. Like if you see some बहुत tough है, नेचुरल तो है नहीं कि नॉर्मल ऐसा करके निकलेगा, तो अननोन विल बी मोर. सम अगर थोड़ा टफ हो गया, जनरली बोल रहा हूं, इन जनरल कंसिडर द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ द अननोन वन टू बी मोर. मैं ऐसे दिखा रहा हूं. इफ यू हैव रिटन दिस, मैं ऐसे दिखा रहा हूं. देखो, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग. लेट अस विजुअलाइज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. इट विल बिकम इजी टू यू. मेरा हाथ को देखो, ये दोनों हाथ को देखो. अब फोकस करो थोड़ा. जादू नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं, फोकस करो. This height of my hand, if this represents the frequency, then frequency of this tuning fork, suppose a tuning fork है, I am representing the frequency of that tuning fork by the height of my hand. Second tuning fork, दिस ट्यूनिंग फॉक हैज मोर हाइट, दैट मीन्स इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी इज मोर। ऐसा सोचो ना, एग्जाम हॉल में ऐसे विजुअलाइज करना साउंड को। दिस ट्यूनिंग फॉक हैज मोर फ्रीक्वेंसी, इसका लेस फ्रीक्वेंसी। कितना लेस? सपोज 4, सपोज ये दोनों का डिफरेंस कितना? 4। ओके, मान लिए 4। नाउ दिस इज अननोन, ये हाथ को देखो, दिस इज अननोन फ्रीक्वेंसी एंड नाउ यू गेव सम वैक्स कोटिंग ऑन दिस। कैसे वैक्स कोटिंग दिए? मैं ये रिमोट को हाथ के ऊपर रख देता हूं, ये वैक्स कोटिंग है मेरे हाथ में। अब क्या होगा देखो, एज सुन एज इट इज गिवन वैक्स कोटिंग, इसका फ्रीक्वेंसी विल स्टार्ट डिक्रीजिंग। तो क्या समझ रहे हो? द नंबर ऑफ बीट्स डिक्रीज कर गया। अरे अब तो ये डिक्रीज करके ऐसा भी हो सकता है। पहले इसको नहीं सोचते, पहले इसको सोचो। दिस वॉज हाई, नाउ आई गेव वैक्स कोटिंग, इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी डिक्रीज्ड। सो इफ इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी डिक्रीज्ड, द नंबर ऑफ बिट्स डिक्रीज कर गया। अब बताओ तो, नाउ both the heights are same. Suppose this was 204, you gave some wax coating, its frequency decreased and became 200, 204 to 200, और इसका frequency constant at 200. How many bits will be now produced? 0. No difference in frequency. और wax coating दे दिए इसको, और भारी मोटा कर दिए, its frequency further decreases. Now its frequency is 196, इसका 200 कांस्टेंट वैल्यू। तो फिर से बता रहा हूं, 204 सो मच वैक्स कोटिंग, 204 से 196, इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी डिक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 204 बाय 8। 8 डिक्रीज करो 204 को, ये 204 को 8 डिक्रीज करो, 4 प्लस 4। Now can you tell me how many bits will be produced if you vibrate these two together? Anyone? 200 constant. This was having 204. Wax coating applied. Its frequency now decreased from 204 to 196. But its frequency remains at 200. How many bits should be produced now? 4 again. पहले कितना था? 4 था। क्यों? इट वॉज 4 मोर देन 200। अभी कितना है? इसको 8 डिक्रीज कर दिए, 4 and 4. So now it is 4 less than 200. 4 less than 200. So in both the cases, being 4 more, it will produce 4 bits. Being 4 less than this, it will again produce 4 bits. So whenever you see that the sum is little complicated like this, two tuning forks sounded together, they were having 5, they produced 5 bits per second. Okay, the unknown fork given wax coating, again they are vibrated, but they are again producing 5 bits. Is it possible? It is possible. 5 ज्यादा था और तुम इतना वैक्स कोटिंग दे दिए कि इसका फ्रीक्वेंसी 10 डिक्रीज कर गया। 5 ज्यादा था पहले, अब 5 and 5 10 डिक्रीज कर गया। दैट मीन्स नाउ देयर फ्रीक्वेंसी डिफरेंस विल अगेन बी 5।